Welcome to the jungle. This is Jungle Gyms with their signature monorail paying homage to the American steelworker. Whether it's functional or not, I do not know. I have never seen it in action. What I have, however, seen is a pub in here, maybe two. I have seen a restaurant, definitely two, maybe more. I have seen a movie theater. Come on, let's take a look. The story of Jungle Gyms is one that starts with the humblest of beginnings. It started as a fruit stand in the 70s and then gradually grew into what it is today, with goods and produce from at least 70 different countries. As you can probably tell, it has a lot of variety in terms of not just goods that are perishable and produce that is edible, but also a very quirky mixture of everything that you probably have not thought about. You have to be here to understand what I mean. Since you're not and I am, let's start with the movie theater. It is not the biggest one you've ever seen, and it appears to tell the story of Jungle Gyms on repeat. But what else would you expect? The novelty here is that there is a movie theater in a store. After you've watched your show, you can move 20 feet or so into the tiki bar and imbibe your favorite beverage. I believe they have food as well. You can make it dinner, drinks, and a movie, quite literally. The bakery is massive and right next to the meat and seafood department. I don't know if there is a correlation there or not, but I found it fascinating, not because they're next to each other, but because of the wide variety of pastries and other baked goods. If you have a sweet tooth, bring it here. On to the serious business of shopping. In here is the biggest collection of herbs and spices that I have ever come across in any store that I have ever visited. Granted, I have not visited all the stores or even very many stores, but I do have to admit that this is impressive, and I think you would too were you to be here, not because of the sheer size of it, but because of the representation of a wide variety of countries, from Europe to Asia to Africa and everything in between. Yes, there is an international wall of fame for rice. And no, they're not advertising the Burning Man. They do, however, have goods from Cuba, despite what embargoes and restrictions there might be. A significant number of the items that you find here are farm produce, or at the very least contain ingredients that were once grown in a farm. So you can in fact say that this store does have a global impact in as far as farmers are concerned. I don't want to go in the direction of fair trade because I am not an expert in that, but I do hazard a guess that some of that does end up here. However, if you think about it, all the farmers in all the countries and all the factory workers who have to add quality to these goods in the process of quality addition, and all the shipping lines that end up in these shows bringing those goods to America, and all the workers involved, you can in fact see that there are possibly hundreds of thousands of lives that are impacted by this one store in the middle of Ohio. It's quite impressive really. Talking of which, what makes someone eat spicy food? And not just spicy food, Carolina Reaper's level of spicy. It burns your mouth in the most hurtful way possible. But I digress here. This is not a store that's only about hot peppers. There is a wide variety of every possible food that you can imagine and conceive, as well as keeping with the times. You can buy a bong here, among other items of unique novelty. So I have enjoyed walking through, and because there are possibly tens of thousands of unique products, I choose to not zero in on any one item. I do, however, stress that you can have a drink and shop and a cup of coffee, maybe catch a show, maybe even go down the aisle and buy the drink that you just drank and take it home with you. And that is all for now. Till next time, ciao. I'm gonna head to the tiki bar and do what people do at the tiki bar.